All right, let's do this one, and then the final shot. They're pretty similar, so we can reuse a lot of the stuff. Let's just grab our entire node tree here from shot 010, because a lot of this stuff is going to be the same. So let's just go in here and let's just go into stage context. Let me actually switch to Solaris view here. All right, let's paste that in. All right, and now we need to, of course, start bringing everything in similar to what we did before. So lots of repetition, but at least you're gonna learn how it all works this way. All right, so let's have a look. All right, it's gonna. Yeah, let me know. I put on auto update, but it was still locked to the right view. And like again, those textures are just so slow there. All right, let's have a look at the actual correct one. All right. So what do we need? We have our environment, of course. All right, let's first just do the simple stuff. Let's do the ground here. I'll just grab that. Let's turn off Karma. Right, there we go. See if this thing actually has a proper UV on it. Oh, it doesn't. Let's do UV project, and let's actually project our UV, because of course we're gonna need a UV in order to add a material to this thing. Let's go to second view. All right, that seems good. All right, that seems to work. So that's one down. Let's go out of this thing. Let's grab some of our environment stuff. So R&D our plants. It's going to be where we don't really have hero leaf here, so we can get rid of that stuff. Let's call this environment plants. And I guess we need to put a null here. Let's drag that in. We need to do the thing there with the groups again. Or no, you know what? Like in this thing, we don't need to do the groups anyway, because we didn't really replace anything here. So that should work by itself already. Right. Let's have a look at the other stuff we need to do. Here with these drops, we don't really have those. We have separate elements, so we can just get rid of that. Yeah, error, etc. All right. Let's do. Right. Instead of material linker there, let's actually just assign, because we have these leaves here. In this case, I think it's going to make more sense to grab the peppermint here and just do. Let's just do this in a separate material library over here. We can go get rid of the droplet. Let's just assign this to our plant over here, because that's going to be the only plant here that we have. So it makes more sense to just keep it here. It's also interesting that the viewport here in Solaris is actually fast with these textures, and these textures really break down in the regular Houdini viewport. So that's interesting. Anyway, and there we have that thing. Let's call this. All right. Let's in our stage manager here. Let's get rid of the collection there. Let's make a collection here. Call this environment. And then let's put everything under our environment there. Let's see where ground is called, or ground. / ground. All right. See the texture actually also appearing now. and get rid of this material linker here. All right, so that is the base thing. So some other stuff. We have our wooden thing here, wooden slice. So we can get that one in. That one also has object transformations here. So let's do scene import. Drag that in. There we go. Oh, no. Yeah, that one. No, that one. All right. All right. So it's already assigning the material that we had from over here. Let's see where the material is assigned. Wooden slice. Let's have a look at where it's happening over there. Yeah, so we already had the material there. Let's bring that into here. Possibly. So let's actually bring it in here. I'm actually wondering how they actually bring in the groups here with an import like this, because normally you don't have that. So it's probably something I'm missing when it comes to how this always imported. Because if you turn this off, you can see the groups actually disappearing. Yeah, no idea what's happening there, but let's just put a material thing in here and let's just reassign them so we just have easy control. If anybody knows, I'm interested in knowing how that works, because these groups here never show up here, so I'm actually not sure how they do that. Let's have a look. Maybe there's actually something that does that. Sub import. Actually, not sure. I would like to know. Again, I'm not an expert here. So anyway, if we do material library here, we can just copy and paste this in and then just reassign it in here. So let's do autofill material or clear and then autofill materials. And just reassign them over here. Side. And then realistically, this should work. Right, there we go. You can see it works. So yeah, I'm interested to know how they did that. Still a lot of Solaris here is still mystery to me. So anyway, I'm just also learning like everybody else. So let's just yeah, all right. Let's throw this wooden slice in the environment. Let's not call this thing environment plants. Let's call it environment. All right. All right. Not sure why the environment group was in there. Let's just throw that out. Do environment plants in there. Wooden slice in there. All right. That seems a little bit more organized. There we go. So these plants here have weird colors. Let's have a look at what that is all about. Oh, by the way, we can just turn off import group because it's gonna import everything. So let's have a look at the environment plants. Well, we could probably just import this as a object level. Make more sense anyway. Let's turn off Karma. Let's do scene import. And there we go. There we go. All right, so that also fixed the color thing. I guess there was an attribute on there that messed stuff up. All right, there we go. There we go. And there we go. All right. Slowly and step but steady, we are getting somewhere. All right, so scene import cameras. Import the cameras there. Let's all right, we already have that over here, of course, so we don't need to do that. Can just fetch that in here. So then we have our camera. That seems to work pretty well. Let's have a look at what that looks like with our... Probably get rid of this light linker and over there, because we're going to change our lights anyway. We're going to already have a look at what this is going to look like. So now they're suddenly breaking again. And it's... Some stuff is just very weird, man. Right, let's just go in there. Let's hide. Let's just delete a bunch of attributes from them, because probably it has to do with some attributes on here. So let's have a look over here in our geometry spreadsheets. What it could be. All right, so they are packed. Let's unpack this thing. We'll probably already maybe even solve the issue over here on the left. Not yet. Let's see which. Let's delete alpha. We don't need alpha. Let's delete shock material path. Let's delete var. Let's delete the name. And let's try that again. All right, now with some refreshing, it works. Let's see if it still works if we go over here, because you never know, because bugs and stuff. And oh wow, it works. Oh my god, never expected that. All right, that's looking decent. Let's get rid of a whole bunch of these lights. Let's only keep the dome light for now. And let's have a look at what's up here. So probably really need to change our materials here, because this is extremely specular, which of course we don't want. So let's go into wood top and let's go to surface and let's really reduce the reflectivity there, make it a little bit more rough. And maybe probably fine for now. We're gonna change the lighting anyway, so I guess for now this is fine. So we need to bring in our other elements still, because we have our main environment here. Now let's start bringing in all of the simulated parts. Oh, by the way, we are forgetting one thing here for the main thing, and that's the grass. Of course, we also need the grass, so that's going to be only our grass. Let's just do it with scene import again. Probably just keep the materials on there. Let's just merge that in there. Let's have a look. Doesn't seem to have a material on there yet. So then we might as well assign it on here in Slavers. So let's go to grass clumps. Let's grab the material here. Let's do a material library. Go in there, paste it. Out of the materials, assign. Let's have a look. Wow, it's grass, amazing. All right, let's have a look over there. All right, there we go. Got a bunch of grass. Let's turn on some denoising maybe in the viewport. Right, already looking pretty decent. I like it. Of course, our FX elements are going to be quite important in here, so let's actually bring those in. So let's turn off camera here. All right, let's do scene import, and let's bring in all of our stuff. All right, so let's yeah, that's which one we're gonna choose. Let's do the I don't know, YOLO. Let's do the lemons. Why not, right? If life gives you lemons, you take those lemons. All right, let's see if it actually again brings in our groups. All right, so it brings in those two elements, so that's good. Lemons. Let's do scene import, and let's do the leaves. Let's do scene import, and let's do the ice. Ice baby. All right. Ice. And let's do scene import. And I guess the only thing that remains is the fluid. So let's do the fluid thing. All right. All right. I guess we can do a stage manager thing. I'll just do one here, stage manager. Merge all these things. All right. All right. Let's make a collection called. Let's put this under effects. FX. Alright, let's throw that stuff under there. Alright. There we go. Let's assign some materials now. Oh, wait, we're still forgetting our straw and our glass, of course. We might actually want to load those in our environment here still. So let's do those in scene import. Let's call this, or let's, by the way, call this grass. Let's call this glass. Let's do only our glass. Where are you? Glass. There we go. And straw. Straw. All right, here we go. Let's make that in. Boop. Boop. And environment, and there we go, everything in there. Let's assign a bunch of materials, material library. Let's make a glass material, and in this case might make sense to make our material with an HDRI merged in, so that's where we can just grab our HDRI. We could fetch our HDRI maybe even. Let's do fetch HDRI. Fetch it in here. Boop. And again, have a look at our, let's turn off the tap to field, which always goes on by default for some reason. Right. So we can actually work on our material here. Right, I guess. Let's not do that then. All right, let's not gonna do it like that. Let's go in here. Let's do principal shader called glass. Then let's do in here. Let's do transparency. Oh, let's actually assign it. Just assign it to this entire thing. Boop. Here we go. Let's turn down the roughness a little bit. And I mean, already looks pretty decent. So over here we can really see that we really need to enable subdivisions on this thing because it wasn't really looking smooth. I should probably also do that on some of the other elements because I kind of forgot about that. But over here, the wood, we can also do treat as subdivision surface. And the peppermint, I don't think we really need it for this one. I'm not, well, we can just turn it on. I'm not sure how much slower it's going to make it. If it's going to make it a lot slower, then I'm going to. Right, so you can see it is definitely taking a long time, so I might just turn it off then. Let's just turn that off. Because if we're not going to see it anyway, then why bother? Right, so in terms of this glass for this shot, let's just keep the material like this. I mean, I guess you could add a little bit of dispersion here to make it a real glass-like and stuff, but I don't really like for this shot. We don't really need extra detail on our glass here. We can do that for the next shot. We can start focusing on some of the details, but over this one we'll just see it here at the top, so you're not gonna really notice anything. Let's merge the straw in. Let's do a little straw material. Let's do material library. Let's do principled shader. Straw. And let's make it a little bit dark, a little bit reflective, a little bit rough. I guess something like that. I guess you could do surface gallery thingies because it's plastic straw and whatnot, but I mean, we're looking at it from the top and it's not like we're noticing. All right, what I do notice is that the so I guess we should move the straw up a little bit because it's sticking a little bit through our glass. Not that we're gonna notice it that much in this shot, but I mean, if we're doing this anyway, why not? All right, let's just have a look at our glass, at our thing there, and let's just move this up. And it's a little bit hard to see what we're doing here. All right. Oh, and our grass here is not scattering properly on the ground, it seems. Let's actually fix that. Grass scatter setup. Into this object. All right. I guess it wasn't properly scattering because it wasn't set to enter this object. All right. So now it is. All right. So it's all right. That's a little bit better. Let's merge that thing in. Where are you? All right. So let's just put this to. Where is it? Environment. Alright, I guess this is already correct. Let's just look at our top view here. Turn that up. Alright, there we go. Alright, now we can continue focusing on our effects stuff. So I guess for our lemons, we already had materials. Whoa, something is going a little bit weird over there. Alright, so we already have materials for those. Let's grab those from our shot 30. So let's go to our shot 30. Grab those materials. Limes. Let's go over here, and let's paste that. Everyone actually wants to cut. Control C, or oh, an actual correct one, right? Control C. Let's see if it wants to paste now. All right. We need to probably set the groups properly because I believe that we did something over here for that. Those groups. All right, so let's do the same over here. Let's go to our limes. Let's paste those groups. So look if that's actually working. Let's check. Insides, all right. Outsides, all right. Seems to work. Let's do autofill materials. Oh, we only seem to have the lime side there, so I guess we need to grab the material from here, stage, hero lime, grab that one. Go in here, hero lime, no, not grass clumps. It seems to sometimes just not copy correctly. Right, there we go. Small green lime, clear autofill. There we go. Let's assign this stuff. So small green lime should be assigned to that one, and then this should be assigned to that thing, I think. Let's have a look. I need to actually look at our correct view. All right, there we go. So that seems to work. Let's look to the other stuff, the leaves. Oh yeah, so those are our own made leaves. So we need to grab another material. And again, we can grab that from our shot 2. So let's go over to that one and let's grab our material. Let's have a look. Hero leaf, there's that one. So let's do material library here. Paste that in and assign it. Beautiful. All right. Ice. Well, we can just do our own material here. We could grab our ice material from our other shot, but this is going to be a little bit different type of ice. Let's just make it ourselves. Ice. Let's just highlight this, turn on Karma. This might make sense to merge into, so let's disconnect this stuff that we did here. We need to actually merge that back in. All right, let's merge it here in with our HDRI so we can see what we're doing. And I don't want this network box to keep growing, right? So let's do it like that. All right, so let's dive in there. Let's assign it. There we go. And let's build. So let's do, let's turn on transparency. Let's, can I guess, turn down the roughness maybe. A little bit like that. Guess we can turn on displacements. I don't know if we written out rest positions for these. Let's first just work on our material here. We might need to have a look at doing some rest positions for these things. So we can just add some of these, of this small detail here, just with some simple noises. It's maybe a little bit too extreme, 24 by 24. Again, we're just, all we're after is just trying to give it a little bit more crushed ice look. Maybe a little bit higher roughness. Let's see. Let's just leave dispersion off there. I think this is probably fine. We do need to increase our refraction limit. Maybe a little more roughness. Right, seems good enough. Our fluid. Let's do material library. Let's make a material, principal shader. Call it fluid. Let's assign it. Again, once we're looked through our camera, we're gonna work on these materials a little bit more to just try to fade it into the scene, but for now it should be pretty straightforward. We don't really need to do too much crazy here. The motion blur for this shot is mostly gonna help a lot. I guess we can do a little bit of dispersion here. Aside from that, we want to turn down the roughness because this is water. And that's pretty much it for a basic setup. So yeah, it's being all merged together here in the stage manager. All being thrown under the effects there. Of course, like there's no light now, so that looks terrible. So let's call this out effects. Copy it, turn off this thing. Let's go over here. Fetch. Might actually make more sense to just to sort of layer this like this maybe. We actually have some stuff going from the top to the bottom. And let's put in our effects. Let's load it in there. Load it with the underlights. Let's look through the camera. Right, let's see what this is gonna look like. Turn on the denoising. And now we probably need to start working on our lights. I am already gonna maybe set up the motion blur for this, because motion blur is really gonna help with this shot, because a lot of this stuff is moving really fast and now it just looks sort of blobby. So let's first set up all this stuff for the motion blur. So again, this is going to be geometry settings. Let's just go to each individual element here and enable motion blur, velocity blur. Move through it a little bit. Let's see if it works. Alright, doesn't seem to do anything yet. Oh, and that's probably because we are setting this after the material. So I believe, if I'm correct, that this is one of those scenarios where the order matters. So I believe if I'm going to do it like this, then probably it's going to render correctly. Let's just have a look at it. It's actually the case. All right, I don't see anything yet. By the way, let me turn on subdivision surface for this one. Let's try with these lemons here. Let's just first check if we actually have our velocity on there. Right, we actually have velocity. So attribute delete, let's delete everything that we don't need, because that's gonna make our life a little bit easier. So we're only gonna need rest, and we're gonna need velocity, and that's probably about it. Right, let's just multiply our velocity to see if this actually works. Again, this could also, again, be one of those bugs where if you just refresh something that suddenly it starts to work, but right, doesn't seem to be the case. Lemons, let's inspect our stuff here. Let's have a look. Alright, so no velocity. Alright, so this is a scene import, so it probably is not importing the proper velocity. So no velocity here. So that might be one of those cases where we need to do SOP import again. We could also try with a cache. So this essentially what cache does is we'll just cache your geometry. I don't think that's going to work here in this case, but you can try. Again, Solaris is sometimes a little bit I don't know. It's stuff like this is still just a little bit weird. I guess the longer you use it, the more you're gonna get used to stuff like this. I just want to be able to load in my actual velocity from my points, even if I'm bringing it in like this, but that's just not possible. It's just annoying. All right, let's just do SOP import then instead. I mean, why not? All right. It's just stuff like that just really annoys me when working in Solaris. All right. Let's do no. Out lime. Let's just throw this in. Again, all of these stuff could also just be me not knowing what the hell I'm doing, but from a user experience perspective, you would expect things to just kind of work like I'm working now, and it doesn't. So there's definitely something that should change there. Right now we need to go in the import data. As you can see, motion blur now works, so that is good. Subset groups, all of these things, and then we can assign to our proper groups, and then we're back with what we had before, but now with motion blur. Again, stuff like this just annoys me. If someone knows what it is I'm doing wrong here, or a better way, let me know, because this is just, I mean, all right, now I'm renaming it, I'm breaking everything, of course. All right, let's do, all right, here we go. Okay, you're assigning the wrong stuff here. Small green lime should be the one, and that should be the one. All right. I guess that's going to be the same with the leaves. So let's do the SOP import. Do the leaves here. Leaves, all right. That one, all right, there we go. Import data, we don't need groups here. Copy and paste geometry settings, let's see if it works. Array, it works, great, all right. Ice here. Probably same stuff, so SOP import. It's just a little bit annoying. There we go. And array, it works. And same with fluid. Copy. Paste. And there we go. All right. No, not Storm, Karma. Geometry settings. Oh, copied the wrong thing. Let's do fluid. There we go. So we see we have a bunch of motion blur there. All right. Then let's go down here. All right, there we go. Let's wait for this to resolve for a little bit. Let's look through our camera actually, and then wait for this to resolve for a little bit. And then we can do some of our lights. All right, so this looks pretty decent. So let's add some lights. Like ideally, if you have multiple monitors, this is like you would normally just open up a second screen and then just add, like make a working area there and then add lights there. Of course, that's not really doable for the tutorial here, but it's normally kind of what you would do. Right, let's do a light. And I guess let's Let's do this. Let's do the disk thing. Let's really increase intensity so we can sort of see where in the world this thing is shining. I guess we need to rotate it the other side. All right, I don't see anything. Light, why are you not shining? Why are you not giving beautiful light? Let's increase it even more. All right, there we go. So it is doing something. We just need to really increase that. We can make it bigger. Right, let's turn it down. All right. I think I'm just gonna put one over here. And just sort of shine a... Could also just do a directional light, I guess. But I think that's gonna have to. So that's a distant light. So a distant light is more like a real sunlight. We could have a look at it, but it's generally it gives pretty harsh shadows because of course it's gonna be a sun, or not really a sun, but it's similar to a sun. We can have a look at what that's gonna do. You can see that will shine a light from one direction. Like that. I don't think I like that. I'm gonna put in the other light. So I just want to sort of fake a somewhat sun-ish light somewhere over here. And I'm gonna do one light just inside of this whole thing to just fill up stuff in the bottom. So this already looks pretty good, but you can see down there, down the bottom is just really dark. That's probably why I want a, so let's call that fake sun or something like that. Let's do the second light. Let's just put it to 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. That should be somewhere down there. And I'm gonna, let's turn off Karma for now. I'm gonna put it somewhere over here in the same direction as the other, where the other light comes from. Probably just down here to sort of just shine a little bit of light inside of that thing. Right, let's have a look at what that's gonna do. All right, I think we probably need to rotate that around. All right, so that was pointing the wrong direction. All right. Not sure if I'm really liking that, so let's call this fill. Let's do a light linker. And let's link the fill to the ground. Let's link it to the wooden slice. Let's link it to the glass, to the straw. So not to the environment plants. So that way we will be able to just make this thing a little bit bigger. Not have shadows from our plants here. So these plants are now not going to be taken into account when we do this thing. So I guess we can just scale it up now. Again, this is not visually correct lighting that I'm doing here. It's more just art directing what I kind of want to accomplish. Not everybody's gonna agree with the way that I do that, but that is totally fine. You do what you want, I do what I want. Alright. Let's really increase this a lot more so we can actually see what we're doing. Let's turn off the other lights, by the way. It's probably going to be a little bit easier to see. Right. Right, there we go. So we can actually see a little bit better what it is that we're actually doing. Again, like I always find it a little bit confusing how the Z side is not the direction that the area light is facing. All right, something like that. So that is filling up some stuff there. Can probably move it up a little bit, right? All right, let's turn it down. Let's turn on our dome lights. Let's turn on our regular lights. And we can also do a lot of this stuff. We can color correct and stuff a lot in compositing. We do want sort of our basic look working, which I think is working reasonably well now. Let's turn this thing down a little bit. Probably want to reduce the specular on the wooden thing. At the top, let's reduce the reflectivity. Let's increase the roughness. Maybe that shadow there is still a little bit too harsh. So I guess now we have made fill too soft. We could do a second fill over there, but I do like a little bit of contrast. So maybe let's do 650. Let's increase the dome light by a little bit. All right, looking pretty decent. Now, basically that's this shot basically done. Apart from the fact that we still need to, of course, have a look at through our Karma LOP here and see how many samples do we actually need for this. We still have all of our AOVs and all that stuff set up. So I am gonna be going into, or need to turn on velocity blur, by the way. Again, that's important. If I forgot it in some of the other parts in the tutorial, always keep this on when we're gonna be rendering it. Else it slow. Again, I'm really confused of why velocity blur is always off and have to fill this on by default. Because generally I want to render velocity, but there you go. I guess in terms of limits, this looks fine. Pixel sample seems fine. I think this should be okay. So let's set this to correct camera. Let's set this to shots 50. And then shot 50. And that is pretty much it. We can delete all of this stuff because we don't need that in our scene. But there you go. That's pretty much this entire shot. So yeah, there you go. So again, you can write it out here in the out by putting a fetch. Don't forget to put Husky XR mode to 0. Put that thing in there. And well, that's pretty much it. You can just render and make sure that your frame range is set correctly. So I believe there was around 1100 for us. This, all right, 11 or 1085. So let's do 87. 1087. But that's pretty much it. So now let's go into our final shot, which you can actually see some stuff here breaking. I guess that's not sure what's going on there. Let's just have a quick look before we move away. Right, I guess that's just another weird viewport thing. Gotta love the viewport. All right, it's not a viewport thing. Gotta love the viewport. Anyway, of course, by the way, make sure to check that you have all of your proper AOVs enabled before you actually do a render. And you can go through your AOVs over here, and again, you can just render with denoising as well. We can do separate denoising and compositing if we need to, which we'll go over, but just make sure that you have pretty much all of the things that you need. For denoising, we'll need position and albedo. So if you have those, then you're good for those, and you need all of the diffuse, transmission, reflection, etc. So yeah, anyway, let's head into the last shot.